Jamaicans.com. Welcome to another edition of Bar Talk. This promises to be an excellent edition because guess what? It's Bar Talk Ladies Edition. Now, some of you may know that when we have Bar Talk, it's normally guys up here, we're talking about everything related to men, everyday living, and having some real talk. Well, the ladies have invaded us today, so we have 4 ladies sitting here, and the topic today is 5 things every man should know about a woman. 5 things every man should know about a woman. Here's the funny part of that, folks. They have not, we use the word collusion. There's no collusion among the ladies. They have all sat and decided their 5 things, and so essentially, guys, if you think about it, if they're not sure what they men should know, we might end up with 20 things that we should know. Hopefully, the aim is, Kevin, that would be funny, right? Hopefully, we'll find something that is, find some commonality to what's happening here, and therefore, we should have something very interesting, if not thought-provoking. So, ladies, if the man is hanging around, drag him by the ear, push him by the belt, anything, get him to sit down, watch Bar Talk. Ladies, if he's not even around, sit down. You may need to ask him a couple of questions later on this evening. Anyway, before I introduce the ladies, let us do some housekeeping. A couple of things you know, folks. Bar Talk is broadcast on Jamaicans.com, and it is celebrated worldwide. It comes to you through Moment2Remember Studio. It's a photo, video, networking, printing studio. From anything from a passport picture to your next wedding or your gala or your wonderful portrait, you can see us. Jamaicans.com is the premier location for all things Jamaican. So you can catch us, first of all, if you're liking this program, and I'm asking you to go and like Jamaicans.com. How you do that? You go to Facebook and you type in Jamaicans.com, or you could go directly www.facebook.com/OneLoveJamaica. Or with Moment to Remember, you could simply type in www.facebook.com/M2R Photography. Okay? The other thing I'd ask you to do is to, while you're tuning in, just let us know where you're coming to us from. We have people from China, as far as Alaska. We'd like you to just chime in and just say hi to us. Say hi, go over like Facebook, Jamaicans.com, or Moment to Remember. Now, again, one last thing before I introduce the ladies. I just want to put out a bit of SOS. In Jamaica, a lot of things that we take for granted here is not the same in Jamaica. For example, in the United States, most schools where kids were given laptops and tell them go home and there's virtual learning. In Jamaica, there's something similar, but the problem is they have to pay per minute per data. So data runs out quickly, and it happens to a lot of schools. I understand Digicel does a lot for some of the schools that are mainly for the universities. So schools like my alma mater, Wilmer's, we have 3,000 kids. Between the girls' school and the boys' school, approximately 3,000 kids. We currently have about 725 kids who have the potential of dropping out from school simply because they have no data. That's something we take for granted. So Wilmer's Association from New York, the alumni chapters from New York, Canada, Florida, worldwide is trying to chip in. Now, normally, I don't ask you to do anything that involves money. But in this case, I'm going to ask you to do 2 things that they want you to do. One is support Amazon, Smile, so it's smile.amazon.com. And anytime they contribute towards any kind of charitable organization, and Wilmer's is one of them. So without begging or doing anything, anytime you're shopping on Amazon, you actually contribute to one of these schools. So it's smileamazon.com. The other way you can participate is by a link that's in this show, and it's in there on the description page below. You'll see a direct link to make your donation. Believe it or not, you can keep a kid in school for the rest of the term by just $30 a month. $30. Enough said. Thank you. Now, back to the ladies, back to the topic. The topic today is 5 things every man should know about a woman. And in the audience today, I'm starting from the crew because we have some ladies who have been here for the longest time. So let me start with, to my far left, Joan Howard. Nurse Joan Howard, she's been on the front line with a lot of things, but she's also, and she was here last week with her son. Single mom who raised a son on her own, and he is a solid man. So she must know something about raising a man and the 5 things we need to bear, so forth. Secondly, another foundation member of Bar Talk is none other but Juliet Stedman. And listen, folks, she has an opinion. Okay? Don't have to question it. She has an opinion. So you're going to hear it. These 2 ladies, folks, this is funny. Because these 2 ladies are ladies that I know from church when there were kids running around the church. And now I can't call them kids no more. The first they come say, hey kids, who are you talking to? So, they have grown, they're highly professional, and they'll tell you a little bit about themselves. So I have right here with me Salea Williams and Nikki Thompson. Okay, so let me start with Nikki. Tell me a little bit about yourself. And give me one thing, because I just want to go in the room first with one thing. Go ahead, Nikki.
One thing about myself,
Yes.
well, I am a mother. You want more?
Yes.
I'm a licensed realtor, mortgage loan professional. I also have an online store, mahoganypost.etsy.com, where I provide business resources, planners, sales tools, things of that nature. So you can find me on Etsy. You can find me on Instagram at Nikki Sky, NIKKISKAI.
She's done.
Yeah.
She's done. Okay. So let's go with Salea.
Hi, I'm Sulea.
First of all, Salea, if your dad knows you're here, is it okay? I'm sorry.
I mentioned it.
Okay.
I'm Sulea. I love children. I'm the founder of Link Up and Build, which is a cultural arts organization for families of the African diaspora. We put on different plays. We meet every month. We're trying to work on summer programs and aftercare programs just to build our community. I'm also recently new assistant principal of a local charter school.
Hey, straight from church.
And I have 3 beautiful children of my own.
Awesome. Juliet.
I'm Juliet Stedman, and 2 words that would describe me, my personality: positivity. I'm very outgoing, I'm loyal, dedicated. I know I went more than 2. I am a paralegal. I'm also a personal tax consultant. I'm also a personal wellness consultant. I am a former mortgage broker and a former banker. I also have a small business called 365 Collection, which is a t-shirt line. I have a daughter, and I would say my most, the one thing that I've accomplished that's my greatest joy is my daughter. I think I have raised a wonderful young lady. She's now a 3rd-year college student, and she makes me so very proud. I just got her results, and she has all A's, and I could not be more ecstatic.
Moving on to Joan.
Yes, I'm a critical care nurse, a frontline responder for the COVID-19. I'm also the vice president of the Jamaican Nursing Association, and I do support the Amazon wanting to make the donations to the Jamaican students because we're engaging yearly mission trips to Jamaica. So we do see the need for that, so it's so very important. So I implore all of you out there to please donate. And one of the most important thing about me, I'm very reliable.
Okay. So let's forget the formalities now, folks. I hear all the wonderful things. As you know, these ladies are pretty much professionals, and the profession is wide and varied, and the age group is also wide and varied. So whatever we get here today should be thought-provoking along, various lines. Here's it, folks. And while you're out there in tuning in, please, this is a reciprocal relationship. So if they're saying anything once we start now that you agree with, say yes, amen, or if not, give me a rebuttal. Okay? So Saleha, let me start with you. One thing that men should know, you have 3 kids and you're all grown up now. One thing that men must know about, every man must know about a woman.
If you're not ready for a relationship, don't play.
Ooh, say it again.
If you're not ready for a relationship, don't play.
Isn't that why they play?
If you're not ready for a relationship,
Don't play like you're
don't
want to be
play.
in one.
Explain a little bit about that.
Don't play like you want to be in one. Don't make false promises and build these big dreams and stuff and say, oh, I want you to be my woman when you have X, Y, and Z on the side. If you're not ready, just be upfront, honest.
But the age-old man, if they look at a girl and they want to say hi to her, they're going to start saying some wonderful things and so forth. So you're saying to them, listen, you ain't got time for that.
No time.
Okay.
No time.
What do the ladies think about that? Real quickly, around the room.
Actually, that's my number one also.
Oh, no, stop piggyback on the ladies. So, okay, so elaborate on that number one.
A grown man, when you come into a grown woman, you have to know what it is that you're looking for. You have to date, go into something with a purpose. Don't just, like you said, if you know you're about playing, because I'm sure that a lot of times you start out and you realize that this woman is serious, but you know you're a player. It means that this corner is not for you. You have to know exactly what you want, what you're looking for. So when you get there, you will know this is where I should be or this is where I'm not to be.
So let me jump in a bit. So guys, what the ladies are saying essentially, if you ain't ready,
Just take a seat back.
take a seat. But how do you then determine? Let me throw it back to Saleha. How do you determine then if a guy is ready or not? 5 things. Both of you agree on one thing. At least we are down to 19 things now, right? What you guys agree on? Yes, go ahead.
The action and the words have to match. If you're saying one thing, I need to see the action. I need to see that you're about it. I need to see that you're about me and getting to know me and wanting to build something serious. I need you to be honest about your feelings. I need you to be open and communicate. You just have the actions and the words.
Give me an example of action. Give me one example. Off the top of your head.
Don't say you're into me and you're not calling me.
Ha! Lord.
I shouldn't have to run you down. I shouldn't have to wonder where are you, what you doing. We need to be communicating. Call me, show me that you're interested. I shouldn't be sitting here wondering or having thoughts of what you're doing or whatever, or even thoughts of if you really like me or not. If you like me, you show me. Call me. Take me out.
And it's not just this is a PG show, so it's a PG show. So the only time you show up should not be for a quick trip.
Right. and you know the difference though, because it's the time of days you're calling, what you're discussing when you're calling. You kind of can feel like, all right, this is what you want. This is why you call.
Yeah. Okay. I see Judith want to step in there, but leave it alone. Let me go to poor Saleha. Not Saleha, to Nikki. Let me go to Nikki. Nikki, your first thing.
My first thing is that we are strong and we are resilient, but we do need nurturing from time to time.
Oh, Jesus.
So we need balance, absolutely need balance. And I just think that, I think we get either, poor little thing, or, they think that we're too independent. We are independent, we can be, but we still need you to be nurturing to us. we still need the affection, we still need the love, the caring. Let us be down when we need to be down.
So your one line is that show us, if you could break it down into one sentence, what would that be?
That while we are strong, we require nurturing.
So women require nurturing, if nothing else. So a woman like you, for example, I think you got a master's degree.
I do.
You're a young woman. You got a master's degree. You have a real estate certification. You're also a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes, I have been a teacher.
You have been a teacher for how long?
I taught for 10 years.
To 10.
10 years.
Really?
Yes.
I'm kind of
Absolutely.
getting older. But the deal is, folks, you approach a woman, she got it going on. She already has a master's degree. And how old are you, if you don't mind my asking?
I'm 36.
36. She got a master's degree. She's got additional postgraduate and professional degrees, and she's making it happen. But she still wants you to be nurturing. Don't think you can come at her because you seem to be. So my question to you: how do you balance being a strong woman and show you have a need for nurturing?
You know,
Stop laughing, Joe. Folks, you can't see the entire crew because we are still on social distancing, so it's only when we pan around the room. So Joan is over there having a chuckle, and I know why. Okay, go ahead.
The thing is, I'm an excellent communicator, and I'm not a person that you ever have to guess with. So with me, when I need the nurturing, I will tell you in a very straightforward manner, hey, I had a rough day. I need my shoulders rubbed. You know, can we get some dinner out? You know, can you handle that? I need you to handle the kids. Like, this is something that I will be straightforward about. You know, and so it's up to a man to listen.
Ooh.
And so they don't always listen.
So do we need to listen from the words that are coming from you, or from the signs,
Yes.
or both?
Yeah, both. Both.
Let me just take a time out here to just say a couple of highs and things. So Judy and Lee and Loretta Dees are watching with you. Gordon A. Charles, and remember, Kevin, your job is, Kevin, and by the way, folks, before I go any further, I talk about the people in the room, but I gotta make sure that my sidekick, my road dog, my riding shotgun is always in the house. Kevin Stew, from Kevin Stew on the night shift. You can catch him Monday through Wednesday on the night shift at kevinstew.com, the night shift. And in the house, we also have one of my brothers riding shotgun with me is Dennis. You know, realtor extraordinaire, and he popped in and he's hanging around, so forth. He's out of sight. But I also want to just make sure that and please check out Kevin Stew Monday through Wednesday on kevinstew.com. He always has some, really, like I said, thought-provoking thing. And he's more the legalist. So when it comes on to all these things, guys in prison, incarcerated incorrectly or illegally or something, that's the man to check out. Gordon A. Charlene is watching from New York City. Sharon Bryan is watching from, what's this? Chesapeake, California. Sharon Bryan is also watching. Tony Kelly, Voice Online, I have McKillop, again, he's watching with us and listening from London. And we have Andrea Reed is also watching from Lakeland, Florida. And we have, is that Denny Mackey? What kind of bar? Rum bar? No, this is simply a prop. And the only thing I have of this is wine. Okay. Deborah Thompson is watching from Tampa.
That's
hi,
my mother-in-law. Hi, that's my mother-in-law.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Good. Hi, Deborah. Angela Smith is watching from New York. We have Loretta Dees. Tell it like it is, sis. So somebody, she's calling it out. Marcia Kelly, don't make promises and never fulfill it. It's always have what? They always have an excuse. One time too many.
Yep.
Oh, Lord. So that kind of with what you're saying. So you guys, listen up. Listen, ladies, probably, like I said before, you probably want to get that guy and drag him close to this viewing and have him watch it or share it. Actually, now is a good time to share it with some folks and let them know, hey, listen, I want you to watch this. But good. The ladies are saying you're right. Jennifer Watson is watching. Denise Evadny, how you doing, Denise? Mackie is saying, so far it appears I'm not the target audience for Bar Talk. I think appropriate audience is single individuals. I personally tend to disagree because you could be married to a person and have this. Well, ladies, would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
You'd be married to a
I'm
person.
married.
Okay.
Yeah.
And incidentally, for
I know a
those
lot of single married people.
there's a lot. Kevin says it right. There are a lot of
There you
single
go.
married people,
Yeah.
and in
A
fact,
lot of
yes,
lonely
yes.
married people.
And in the audience, Nikki, you're married, happily married. So it is not for people not because there's a ring on the finger, and ladies, correct me if I'm right, mean that the house is happy. Okay, so good. Jennifer Watson says, hey, I'm late, but hi everyone. Hey Jennifer, how you doing? Michelle Murray, good afternoon to you. And Loretta Dees is back again. She says, preach, ladies. Lisa Linus Mack, a woman recognizes the narcissistic very easily. Whoa, it's getting hot in here. Sandra McCullough McNeish, Sandra from New York City. And Mackie again says, laugh out loud. Janice Osborne Williams, Janet is in Texas. And we have Keisha Joseph. Hi, and she's giving the Kevin Stew watching. Keisha Joseph, I am. Sinclair is new on here. Good. Keisha Joseph. He needs to be able to be professing his love for me. It's most important people if it's the most important people in his life, and I'm missing out on that, so I'll come back. And I'll come back to that. Loretta Dees. Demi, this is about single people that are single, dating, or married. And Kevin, so Loretta is saying the same thing like you. It's single people, whether you have a ring on the finger or not. That is amazing. So let's move along.
We have one more here that you're missing. Paula Scott is watching from Moment to Remember. And she's saying, basically, be honest.
Yes.
We do not forget lies and deceit. It's a bad way to start any type of relationship, serious or not.
Ouch! Paula Scott, how you doing? Long time no see, sister. One love. Moving back to Joan, let's start with you, honey.
Okay.
One thing, so that you can't, first of all, if they knock it off already, you can't bring it back up. Okay, so one thing.
Well, I will start mine with this little scripture here. Ephesians 5:10 says,
So Lord,
Find out
God,
what-
gospel.
find out what pleases the Lord and do it. And it talks all about unconditional love. And when you talk about unconditional love, strong faith, a man with strong faith most time will think to find out what will please the woman.
Wow.
Listening to that woman, respecting that woman, be reliable with that woman. Security is one of the most important things to a woman. It allows you to be vulnerable, so we're looking for someone that makes us feel secure, that will build our confidence.
Yes.
I don't know what to say about it. Did anybody have that, by the way? No?
I have the vulnerability.
Okay, so anybody want to pick up on that then?
Yeah, I know what you said is absolutely true. And what you said about vulnerability. Just if they are of faith, then they are familiar with love in its purest form. And that's one of the things that a lot of men don't understand is truly how to love, because it's not selfish. A lot of times their love comes from a very selfish place. And
No, stop. You can't listen, your guys in the room here. There are three of us in the room.
Right.
You can't drop words and then run. You can't just drop it and leave it. Come on, talk to me.
Right.
Define that.
Man,
They can't. They say they love, and then can't repeat what you said, and then kind of define it, kind of shell it out a bit for us.
when I say their love comes from a selfish place, like what you said about honesty, right? Being dishonest, causing hurt and causing pain, that's not love. You might say, I'm trying to protect her. No, you're not protecting her, because everything done in the dark comes to the light. So you're not protecting her. What you're doing is just waiting for down the road pain to come. So that's one of the things I feel like when you love truly and purely, then it's good. It's very good on both sides. You're not being dishonest. You're not doing things just for you. You're worried about her happiness, even if it's something that may not be what you want or if the best thing for you. Her happiness comes before everything else. And really, it's supposed to be the other way around as well, because she's supposed to feel the same. Your happiness is supposed to come first. If everybody's worried about the other person,
Everything would be
happy.
fulfilled. That's a nice point. If you're worried about his happiness, he's worried about your happiness, then the equation will be solved, right?
Exactly.
Folks, we are here in Bar Talk through Jamaicans.com, and it's Bar Talk, Ladies Edition, and the topic is 5 things every man must know about a woman. And so far, it has been amazingly interesting. There are women here from, first of all, age group is varied. And secondly, the professions are varied, from nurses to legalists to school vice principal to teachers and real estate folks. So you're getting a wide continuum, if we use that term, of folks here, ladies here on Bar Talk, talking about stuff, the 5 things that men ought to know. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Juliet. You're next up.
Okay. Men need to understand that all women are different.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lord. That was
Lord.
on my list.
We're all different.
Break that down for me.
For one, most importantly, when you leave a relationship and you start a new one, you cannot judge the new woman based on what the old one did. You have to deal with everybody.
Well, let me jump all over that. Just now. Let me jump all over that. But women do the same.
Well,
Baggage. Yes.
baggage.
Dennis.
And both sides. You do find the same thing on both sides. But I can only speak from a woman perspective. So we need you guys, or we need you men, to understand that what you go into a relationship expecting is exactly what you're going to get. If you're going in there based on your previous and you have all these baggages that you're carrying with you and you're expecting it to work out the same way that the old one worked out, it's definitely going to happen. You have to go in with a different perspective, knowing that this person is different. First of all, you got to take time to know somebody. And even more importantly, you have to take a little time from the old relationship and heal yourself. See what was done, what went wrong. Were you at fault? Was she at fault? What can you take out of that relationship and make yourself better, so that when you get to the next relationship, you're better for yourself and for that person. And so you will find less of you going into a relationship and expecting or looking out for those same things that happened in the past. You are looking for them. Sometimes you're searching so hard that they're not there, but anything that looks a little like it, that's what you're expecting it to be, and that's what you see it when it's far from the truth.
So if I hear you correctly, when you walk into a relationship, the first thing you need to do is to ensure that you forget everything you knew about a relationship before.
The old one. Leave the old one in the past. That is why it's in the past. Leave it there. This is brand new. So let's start afresh. It's like you're in a notebook and you wrote something on that page. When you turn over, there's nothing on the new page. That's how you have to go into a relationship.
So you're saying to me then that people need to forget the hurt, forget everything. So my suggestion would be then make sure that you clear your slate mentally before you move on.
That's why I say you have to take a little time. Men need to understand that they don't need to be in a relationship 365 days of the year. Take a break. You got hurt, you need to heal. Because what you're doing, you're taking that hurt into the other relationship. And you were hurt, so now you're going to hurt somebody else.
Got you.
So you need to heal. Take a little time out and heal. So when you get into another relationship, you're better for yourself and for the new person that you're going to.
Awesome. Eddie Edwards is watching. Hey Eddie, how you doing, man? We trying to move step by step, improving as we go. Thanks for watching, Eddie. Keisha Joseph, so sorry I missed that. That's up. I'll help laugh out loud. I meant to say he needs to be able to profess his love for me. If the most important people in his life didn't know about me, there is
A problem.
a problem.
You're
Assuming he's free, single, and disengaged, ain't nobody can know about him. Then we about you. Then we have a problem. Good point. I understand where you're coming from, sister. And hey, listen. Valid point. Denise Ivadi said, late to bar talk. Good evening. Good evening, Ivadi. You're always here with us. Donna Chance. Preach the gospel, my lady. Oh, so true. Oh, Lord. And then Keisha came back and she says, love is transparent. Anybody want to pick that up real quick?
Well, I will say that
Mm-hmm.
it is very transparent.
It is very transparent.
One of the main thing I think also, if you're not able to can forgive, forgiveness is so important.
Is that one of your points?
And apologize, yes.
Is that one of your points?
One
okay.
of my
So you know you just use up two. Go ahead.
Yes, to apologize. Sometimes, and thoughtfulness about the other person. And if you're not able to forgive, and I think about what Juliet says, not forgetting the past. Because if you take that into the future, you're not going to able to can forgive. Because sometimes you're faced with some of the same experience from that past relationship. So you haven't even take that time to say, let me take some time out for me. So to reflect on me and see where I went wrong and what could I have done better. So that's important. So forgiveness is important so you can even move on with the next relationship.
Awesome. I can deal with that. Deborah Thompson says, James Thompson, Tampa, Florida. I've been married for, so James, so hold on. Deborah Thompson, but James Thompson.
That's my father-in-law.
Oh! I've been married for Tampa, Florida. Hey, James, how you doing? I've been married for 43 years, and I think it's important not to hold things in and express yourself so both parties feel they have been heard. When men want the same thing as women want, a good relationship. James, well said. After all, we want a good relationship. That's good. Michelle Dixon is watching. Hi, Michelle, how you doing? And then we have Eddie. What are the 5 things men must know about a woman? Okay, and so Eddie, just so you know, the ladies are expressing their 5 things. It's not one set of 5 things. A good question, Eddie, because some people are probably looking for a single answer, 5 things.
That's exactly what you want.
Yeah, that's what Eddie wants.
Give me my 5 and let me go.
Each lady, so part of the thing here so far, and they will probably recap, each lady came up with her own 5 things. And so we're going around the room to see some commonality. So far we have had some, and we'll discuss that at the end of the show. It's all about watching the show through to the end, Eddie. And so as we get the things, we discuss them, and when we conclude, we'll find the 5 things that they have said in common, and we'll re-express it before we close. But Eddie, thanks very much for watching. I appreciate it. And of course, let me see who else, and that's it. Again, Loretta is in. She says, important to forget the last relation, but not to forget the last relation, but not forget
What did not work?
what did not work. So she's agreeing with you. That's important. So
Yeah.
why you forget the last relationship? I guess that applies to both men and women.
Yeah.
Right.
You must be able to introspect as to why the last relationships didn't work, and while we don't want to bring over the baggage, we want to make sure that we clear anything. It's like what you're saying. We clear anything that was a problem before. So back to you, Saleo. Number 2. Or is that number 3?
You know what?
Last tracking. I don't think at this rate we'll ever get to it. We'll probably have to continue this
They
one.
kind of went into each other because I was talking
Yeah.
about being honest and communicating. Kind of went with, if you want to be like, let it be known if you want
So
to.
give me your second one.
My second one. Oh, what was my second one?
While she's thinking, let's go to Nikki. Let's go to Nikki.
So I will say that one of mine was that we are different, but I was actually thinking on slightly different terms when I said it. So what I was thinking about was, well, number one, really
But
getting.
stop. But if you say we're different, then you're saying the same thing that she is saying that.
Well, she's elaborating as to her difference.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I was thinking slightly in a different direction because you were thinking more of not taking baggage into a relationship. I was thinking about stereotypes that men have of women. And
Oh
just
Lord! Don't come, in other words, don't come to me with no stereotype.
Right,
Ouch!
exactly.
Is anybody taking notes? Dennis, please take some notes because it's
Your
going
face
to
off too?
require that we recap. So Dennis, get a pen or something and take some notes because, in other words, do not come to me with a stereotype of what a woman ought to be.
Absolutely
Wow!
not.
Elaborate.
Right. So if you think that, women are overly sensitive, that women whine, that, women, whatever it is you think a woman needs, scratch it because you don't know me yet.
Oh! You ain't know me like that.
So when you get to know me, and I mean, and even still, like, if you think that all women love flowers and candy for Valentine's Day, you don't know me. Get to know me and get to know what it is I appreciate because I love expensive handbags. So get
I like that.
and you'll see why.
So what? In other words, one size don't fit all.
Absolutely not.
Oh,
Absolutely
Lord.
not. So that's what I was thinking more of. Just don't assume that we all follow a certain standard. Get to know my likes, my dislikes, my wants, my needs, my hobbies, my dreams, all of that, and then treat me accordingly. So.
Ouch. Anybody want to touch on that? Anybody got a little itch for
I
that?
want to.
Nikki and I have actually been best friends
friends.
since we were young.
Yes.
Because you remember us running around the church.
Yes.
We are very different.
Mhm.
We're very different. And we watch each other go like in relationships and stuff and have discussions, and we want very, very different things. Even today, getting ready, we had very different styles we wanted to bring. So what she said is true. We are all different. Every woman is different. Do not come in with your foolishness about you should cook, you should this, you should that, or you must like chocolate. I don't like a certain type of chocolate. I like dark chocolate. Don't bring me milk chocolate because I'm not going to eat it. Flowers die. Take me on a trip. That's what I want. Take me to the museum. Let's have a discussion under the stars and the moon. And
Whoa.
you don't have to buy me
Shakespeare.
certain things. Yes, you don't have to do certain things. And that kind of go into my next point. Like, I'm not your mom, so it's kind of like we're different.
So that's your next. Okay, good.
We're different. All women are different. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I'm not your mother. I'm not going to coddle you. I'm not going to.
Hold on, but we want the same kind of affection.
No.
Hold on.
I will give you affection. I will nurture you. I'll take care of you. I'll treat you like a king. But you and your mother have a different relationship from your woman and you. You know, whatever you're expecting that your mother did, I may not do the same thing, and I may do it differently, and it's okay. Learn my ways, learn my system, and we could work together. But don't force your mother's ways on me. It is not going to happen. I will resist. Me personally, I resist that. So.
I ain't gonna even touch that. Like I said last week, I'm a mama's boy, so I don't want to touch that. So back to Joan. Give me your next one.
So I have here, I want acceptance. And when I look at acceptance, that will bring peace of mind. Accept me for who I am.
But isn't that saying the same thing as Nikki?
I think it is.
Nikki's,
I
you
think
said
it's the same. I said that we're not all the same.
the
so
same.
get to
Don't come
know.
to you with those stereotypes. Come
Right.
to you with who you are.
Right.
So acceptance.
Well,
you
I'm
know,
adding that acceptance also will give you that space to grow in your own way and develop yourself, be your own person, and at the same time have that relationship be autonomous. So that's what I think it's important also in a relationship.
awesome, awesome. Let me go. Oh, our Facebook is going crazy. Facebook is going. Okay, so Keisha Joseph again. Communication is key. It is so important that we allow each other to share our feelings without judgment. If we truly love someone, we have to be open-minded and try not to go to bed upset with each other. And she mentioned something, and anybody can chime in on this. So seriously though, folks, sometimes if you try to express yourself, what you're feeling, then in a typical Jamaican term, me never know some think like that. Right? Me not know him I think, but boy, what wrong with you? Something wrong with it. And so that in itself is a barrier. So I can understand that if you care about someone, then you would. So how do you go from figuring that this man kind of cuckoo, you know, or she kind of cuckoo, but I have to accept that. That's a thought. And let me just go through, and you can pick that up when we're finished. Mish, hey, Mish, how you doing? A regular in our program. We love you, Mish. Mitch McLean. Cheryl Keys. Important not to make the new woman a clone of the former. Yikes.
Right.
Cheryl Keys, why are you starting trouble up in here?
That's my aunt.
That's it. But that is true.
If she's an ex,
Yes.
I definitely don't want her to.
And Kevin says, Kevin from the night shift, Kevin Stewart, the night shift says, hey, listen, if she is an ex, I definitely don't want a clone of her. But yes, sometimes people do that. You know, it didn't work with the last one, but I want this one to look just like the other one. And so we go on to Jennifer Watson. As most people are saying, communication is key. Both men and women assume people are mind readers. Whoa! And should know that they feel and should know how they feel and what they want. The key is also to listen to each other. Communication. So we get that as one of the big things coming up. People are not mind readers.
Right.
So so there's a balance what's going on here. It's mind reading, it's expression how you feel, and not be judgmental on how you feel. Turning this one over to you. Yes.
There's a time when a relationship just really has to end.
Kill it.
Like, yeah, you
Yikes.
just
So your point would be knowing when to call it quits.
God, we lift up all the stones. We tried everything.
We did the counseling.
And we just see where we're not compatible. You're cuckoo, or I'm cuckoo. And so you have
For the Cocoa Puffs.
and there's just sometimes when you just have to realize that we're not getting anywhere, we're not going anywhere, and so you just gotta let it go. You know, you might love me, I might love you, but there comes a time when it has to end. It's not in for both of us benefit.
And what would that time?
It's
What would it
not-
look like? What would be some of the things that you would see that says, okay, we're spinning our wheels? What would that be?
Well, a lot of the stuff that we just mentioned, you are always talking about loving me, but you're not showing me. You're not trying, no matter how, you miss my birthday every year. You can't remember my birthday. Like,
Are you calling out anybody?
no, that one actually is not personal. But there are things that happen that you look and you tell this person, okay, I do not believe in a man should know and a woman should know. I believe in, this is what I want, I'm going to tell you exactly what I want. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to be starting a relationship and tell you everything so you can act for a couple months because you know that this is what I like, so you're just going to do what I like to, I'm not going to do that. But after a while, you will get to know who I am and vice versa.
I could interject on that only for the fact that I really believe, and this is probably digressing a bit, but I do believe that people, we sometimes go in a relationship and we put on all the bells and whistles, and pretty soon we drop it off, and the critical, and all the other things come in, and then afterwards, like you say, you either bring it or you don't. It's if you're coming to me, understand, because obviously it's for the long haul. So once you get to know the person, I guess we come back. Like Eddie asked, what are the 5 things? Well, one of the things that we see revolving in this thing is the word acceptance. Because I can tell you, from a man's point of view, I don't care how nice you look, the shape, the what have you, everything else, and all the other wonderful things that go with a relationship. That wears off quickly, and will you agree with me?
Yeah.
I don't care in the case of the ladies, how the man's chest is ripped and his size and how he good in other places, but the truth of the matter is, that too has a shelf life.
Yes, that too will change.
So that too has a shelf life. So one of the things we could point out to a point that seemed to be revolving here is the concept of acceptance. All right? I'm changing back to you, Nikki.
So one of mine is that while men tend to think very logically, well, some of them think logically, I think that we are more emotional thinkers. And not saying that we're not logical, because we are, but we also make decisions based on feelings and how people will feel. So we consider both in our decision making. So I think men tend to have the misconception that we're just emotional and not logical, when we weigh all points, and the way that someone will be affected by something is extremely important to us in our decision making. So yeah, I think that they should understand that about us.
Anybody want to weigh in on that? Nobody?
Listen, when you get to emotion,
Mm-hmm.
you're getting into a dangerous area. Because now we have men who, especially us Jamaican men, who are typically not in touch with our emotions.
Oh, I could beg to differ.
Oh!
I said typically, I didn't say they're all.
It comes out in another way though, as anger and crazy.
Well, that is something else. That is,
Yeah.
that is control.
Yeah, absolutely.
When it comes to emotions, most of the men, we don't typically go first to emotion. We go more to ego. So that's a different place altogether. So I get what you're saying.
And just before we go on, if Denise Vadney is chiming in, some people don't want to end relationships. It's a little bit of what you're saying about knowing when it ends, because they don't want to be alone. And as a result, like she says, there are many, and it's another thing revolving here, knowing when to call it quits, because she says there are many single marriages.
Mm-hmm.
Say on that.
Yes, go ahead.
No,
Go-
you can go.
Okay. With that, it kind of piggyback off of what you said, like with bringing baggage and stuff. You have to be whole with yourself and love yourself and know who your creator is first to go into any relationship or for any relationship to flourish. So if you can't be alone, you shouldn't be in a relationship. You have to be in a relationship with yourself and know yourself and love yourself and spend that time by yourself. Know your habits, know your gifts, know your own talents and stuff before you can get into a relationship. So if you're staying in something, I'm laughing 'cause- if you're
Go ahead, girl.
if you're staying in something just because you don't want to be alone, that's not good, because that's even more torture to your spirit, to your soul, to the people around you, because you're not yourself 100%, and you should always want to feel yourself 100% and be happy. And if that means being alone, do it because you're the best person ever. If you think you're amazing, you should just live like you're amazing. If you don't, you got to get to the point where you know that you are amazing.
Oh Jesus! Look how much she has grown up, man. Look how much she from the Sunday school running around. She's because you know something about relationships. I've found that over the years, and that could be. Would you agree? One of the points that in a relationship you need, as much as you are in a relationship with somebody or someone, you must feel like yourself. And honestly, to be honest, I've been there before where I'm in a relationship, but I can't be myself because this way it's not acceptable. Your jokes ain't funny, or how you do things ain't right, or anything like that. So one of the things we see coming here is about acceptance, and the other thing is about although you are united, you're twain, you need to feel comfortable being yourself in that relationship.
So-
Awesome.
Who you got into the relationship with? If the person is not being themselves, who did you get into that relationship
Somebody else
with?
who
Or
An imposter.
Because oftentimes, let me look at Juliet. Boy, she look, a brown skin chick, well, all of you seem to be brown skin except one. And she look
Like
a
a
certain,
brown.
yeah, like a brownie, right?
I like her, bro.
I like her, yeah. And so I'm going to step to her in a certain way because she look a certain way, and I'm going to polish up my language because she looks so sophisticated, and she look like the person I could talk to this way or talk to that way. But then that's not how I operate on a 24/7. So sooner or later, that is gonna wear off. And then that starts the problematic situation.
Yes.
Will you agree?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
And back to what she was saying about being in a relationship and being in a relationship with yourself first. Because a lot of marriages, a lot of people stay in relationships for the same reason that that person said, and also for what people are gonna say. A lot of people are living their life for other people, so they don't want to divorce or they don't want to get out of a relationship because of what other people are gonna say. And another thing that people have to understand is that when you stay in a relationship just for staying, you're also, especially when you have kids, you're affecting the kids.
Absolutely.
Some people say, I am not going to divorce because of the children, but you're actually doing more damage to the children in a relationship than having a divorce.
Likewise.
Yes.
Just want to make sure we do a little bit of housekeeping here, folks. If you're watching this, it's 5 things every man should know about a woman. But get it clear, we are not putting up 5 things and say this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every lady that is here this evening, all the ladies here brought their 5 things. There was no, let me meet and talk with you, all 4 of you, and decide what the 5 things would be. So we're talking here from a point of view of each woman feels that this is the 5 things. What we're finding here, although it may have been worded differently, there is a consensus of what things should be. And if you follow us long enough, in another 5 minutes, we will kind of conclude with those 5 things. And so I just want to step out a bit and...
Let me go before you.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, go ahead, Kevin. Kevin Stew from the night shift.
Myron Lilly says, I thank you ladies for sharing, and you give me a whole different
That's a man?
perspective. Yes, Myron Lilly.
Okay, hey Myron, thanks for tuning in, man.
Yeah. I thank the ladies for sharing, gave me a whole different perspective. I realized I got some work to do.
Wow.
Awesome, Myron. Myron, good job. Myron, this is what the show is all about. It's designed, bar talk, somebody will ask you whether or not this was a bar. No, it's a prop. But the bar, like the beauty salon or the barber shop or the nail tech place, is a place where people talk. And there's some kind of, in this case, a kind of catharsis. People get things off of their chest. And in your case, Myron, you're able to see that this is what they're saying. And they, considering that there's a difference, a continuum of age, a continuum of profession, it really represents a group of women that could tell you things that pretty much it's a microcosm of what women in general would think about. Okay?
Myron just got his brownie points.
To go. Well, Myron, you got some brownie points to go or stay home this evening. You're not in the doghouse. All right. So we're going back. It is Evadne. It says, oh, Sharon Corinthian. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you, sister. One love, my sister. And then Evadne said, it is true. Most Jamaican men. Oh, why we gone Jamaican men, Evadne? Come on. But she says, it's true. Most Jamaican men are far removed from their
Emotions.
Guys,
I'm a Jamaican man, I can tell you. I got in touch with my emotions recently.
Feminine side.
that's another show by itself. Jamaican men being able to express their emotions. And Keisha says, me again. Keisha Joseph. You ready to any of you guys?
That's a friend.
Megan. We should not focus on each other's faults, but focus on their positives. And she's, this is a bit. It is important to work on our own faults. Let them work on theirs. And if the relationship meant to be, it will be. We tend to worship a negative because it's easy to do. That's true. It takes courage and willingness to focus on the positive. Keisha, I think that because we all like it seems like it's a natural tendency about people to highlight negatives.
Yeah. Especially Jamaicans.
Oh God, it seems like there is a thing to highlight negative.
Yeah,
She can't cook, but she can't do everything else.
too much.
Why are you talking about cooking? You learn to cook.
Yeah.
A funny thing is, and you can check it out. You're in a relationship, and you do one bad thing. To even that out, you probably need to do 5 good things.
And they don't see the 5 good things.
No. And you are only as good as your last indiscretion.
Wow.
So that's forgiveness there.
Yeah.
Forgiveness.
So another thing, it's
Able
the
to
revolving thought is forgiveness. So somebody make a note of that for me. And if Dennis Evadne says, know your worth.
Yes.
Wow.
Know your worth. And it sounds like something I just heard from one of, I think, Loretta said the same thing. I think I got from one of somebody, I think it's Loretta, I got in the text about, there was a parable, not just a parable or just something that somebody shared with them, a little story about a man who, he had this watch. He said it's been in the family like 400 years. And he said, okay, so told the young man, he gave it to the son or the grandson. He says, take it to the jeweler and say how much you can get for it. Took it to the jeweler said, I'll give you $150 because it's so old. He says, okay, I tell you what, take it to the pawn shop. The pawn shop says, I'll give you $10 because it probably is so old it don't worth much. He took it back. He says, hey, there's an archaeological society down the road. take it to them, an archaeological or some Smithsonian or something like take it there. They say it's worth $500,000 because it's a relic of a period that is hard to find. And he brought it back and said, I can get $500,000. And he says, the problem is, know your worth. Because if you separate yourself and spend yourself with the wrong people or hang around the wrong people who don't know your worth, and if anything else we can say about that is the same thing, that is saying know your worth. Because if you stay around people who don't understand the depth of your worth,
Yeah.
then you'll be treated like whatever they think you are worth. So again, as a resolving thing, you need to know your worth. And I see Joan pointed to me, so let's go to Joan.
So that takes you to one of my points, that being security.
Aha.
Women is looking for security, because if if I feel secure, you're gonna have value. You're gonna value me. I'm important to you. I am precious to you. I feel those things. So if I feel that you have my safety involved, I am going to feel confident, empowered. So you have to show that you have my safety. You have my concern. So security, a man who make you feel safe,
Ouch.
will put that value on you. And
Oh.
no one know they can touch that.
Anybody want to touch that? That's hot.
Wait, but with that, the value should not just be the individual, it should be the relationship. If both individuals value the relationship, what they both wants are, that's what you have.
So then if you value me, I will have to be going to the relationship knowing that I'm valuing you. That's part of my being.
And that I am worth this amount to begin with. So at the moment that I start to vacillate in terms of my worth,
I hope you're not mistaking it in a worldly context or
no, not
value.
worldly context, definitely not.
But you value something precious. When you have something precious, you're gonna take care of it. You're gonna always be there. You're gonna can forgive. You're gonna be loving, caring, nurturing. So that's so important.
Okay, and we have to wrap up quickly, but I really want to answer some of this. Talena Stewart says, that's our cousin. That's your Slayer cousin. It says it's not a woman's job to deal with an emotionally unavailable man. We should not have to pour out into a man who won't pour into themselves. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Elena Gray Sanford says, interesting. From Pennsylvania, NPA says relationships come to people in different ways. What works for one person doesn't work for the other. Correct. It says, I don't know the word. Yes, I'm going to the school, the vice principal. What's that?
Which one? Oh, Shalisa.
Shalisa P.A. says, well said, Luke. Keisha Joseph says, in some situation, we tend to get very defensive when our partner is in a disagreement. Most times it's because our partner is right about what the conversation is about. So you're going on a totally left field, it's defensiveness. Folks, I think we have come, and Norman Doctor says, I believe the Bible makes the most sense about relationship. Men must love their wives, and women the most and must respect their, and not women must respect their husband. And then we have Loretta Demetria Patrick watching from South Miami. Hi, Loretta.
Lornette Patrick.
Lornette Patrick, yes. Lornette, how you doing?
JNF president.
Yes, that's it. The Jamaica Nurses Association of Florida president. How you doing, my dear? Okay. And then we have Danny Benz. I've never seen so many men. Right there, Kevin, that tune in. Greetings.
Everybody
just tune in.
What the women have to say.
Exactly.
Smart
And
man.
Elfina Gray, Stanford, never let your expectation exceed your efforts. Whoa! You expect the most out of what you are willing to put in the time, to put in the time, and let me see. The time. Carol Chang. What's important to Carol? That's my sister from another mother. Carol Chang. How you doing, my sister? This is a interior decorator, designer. What have you? She does so many things for just about everybody, and she almost works selflessly. So Carol, I can't remember the name of her company, but Carol, God bless you, man. And she says, what's important to some people is not important to others. Aha. Then Easy Fantasy, yes, I agree. Once I feel secure, all else will fall into place. So I know I can push it a little bit. So that's another thing, the sense of security, acceptance. Once a woman feels secure, then everything falls into... Judy Jackson is watching. Duke, another guy. Duke Royal, he says, the Bible says that the woman is the weaker. Hold on.
That's Keisha Joseph's
That's
I guess Keisha Joseph's husband. He says that the Bible says that the woman is the weaker vessel, not because you can do what you want, but weaker because it's important and valuable. Light bulb is a glass. If you break it, you change it. But when you have a crystal vase, you value it and keep it in a safe place. Yes! And all the ladies say, so he got it right. Julie Jackson, shout out positive. Awesome, ladies. Awesome. Norman, doctor, is in the house. Please do it this again. I would love to be there. Awesome discussions, ladies. You did it. And so, listen.
Hyacinth Lily says, hi.
Hyacinth and Carol Chang. Carol Chang from Vintage Events. A sister that does everything on her own, from parties to galas. She does it all. Carol, thank you much, man. Love you, sis. And Keisha Joseph says, yes, Lord. Okay. And that's all I have here. Let's yes, Lord. So, folks, we gotta leave. We kind of running over time. We gotta do this again. This has been nice. This has been very relevant.
I don't think we had finished our 5, so probably.
We haven't finished our 5, but if we could summarize, if it could summarize, Joan is like, let's go. Joan, let's summarize. Come on, quickly.
So, most important to women is a man with strong faith, purity, the man character, his honesty, integrity, and I'll have his unconditional love. It's very important.
So Joan decided she gotta give her 5. Give me your 5, please. Give me your 5. Let's wrap this up. Give me your 5.
Okay, so men have to understand that there won't always be a second chance.
Yikes.
So when you get the first chance, you have to make use of it.
Mess it up properly.
So that I won't ever see you again. Don't go in and it's not a rehearsal. This is the real show that we're doing right here.
You can practice on performance day.
Yeah, you can. So if you come and it's done, there's no second chance. There's no second chance here. So you gotta come straight first. I always say a man needs to appreciate a woman when she wants him. Because when she give up. When she no longer wants him,
too late to start the race.
Too late. And when she's done, she's done. There's absolutely nothing that you can do. It's done, it's done.
Okay.
Okay.
Slayer,
So
wrap up.
open communication. Always be honest. Even if you think that we're going to be mad or it's gonna, even if it is gonna upset us, always be honest because it's gonna come up. I'm not your mom. I will take care of you, love you like a king, like a pharaoh, but I'm not your mom. I'm a different woman. I'm just not the outward appearance. I have many gifts, many talents, many dreams, many aspirations. There's more to me than my hair, my looks, my shape, my whatever. What else? And if you're not ready to play, if you're not ready for a relationship, don't play with me like we're in a relationship because I'm gonna be really upset. You know, So don't play. Just be upfront and honest.
Nikki, take it out.
So most of mine were mentioned already. The only one that wasn't, and this doesn't apply just to relationships, but just men dealing with women. It could be at the job. We don't like when you make us feel inferior, because we are smart and we are capable. We can do just about anything that a man can do. But we are willing, I will say though, that many of us are willing to be submissive in our relationships. But remember, that is a choice we are making. So that is why we do need to feel valued and safe and secure so that we can be submissive. It's not because we can't do it ourselves. We choose to do it with you.
Yes.
So folks, if I can conclude, you know, we stepped out a little bit over time, but to be honest with you, it was worth doing so. I'm quite sure you there in Facebook and on Jamaicans.com do know that this is something we probably need to pick up another time. But to be honest with you, it's been awesome. I tried the five things, and one of the first things that stood out to me is, guys, if you're not ready, don't show up for the game. If you're not ready to, Celia said no bother. No bother. Okay, so that's one. Don't stereotype women. Don't look at her and make a conclusion that this is what she is and this is what she like, because so much of it is not what she is. The third thing would be, don't come to her with your baggage from your previous relationship, because again, this is a different situation. It also says, know when it ends. If you travel, if you're stepping on something that is not working and you try everything, maybe you two are not meant to be together. So keep stepping. I hate to put it that way, but understand that. And the ladies all agree, you need to know your worth. Know your worth. I don't know if I got to 5 or 4, but essentially, they know their worth, you know your worth, and understand that people come with different things. And the last thing I know we talk about is acceptance. If you care about somebody, if you're willing to put in the work, relationships are not things just because they exist. Relationships are work. And after you see her for the fine figure and the fine hair and how she smells and how she swagger and all the rest of it, then comes work. And if you're not ready for it, keep it moving. This is Luke Valentine coming to you from Moment2Remember Studios here in Sunrise, Florida through Jamaicans.com. Folks, share this, like this, share it with friends. Although the video ends now, it doesn't mean that you cannot take this video and share it with someone else. We appreciate you. Stay tuned on Bar Talk. We'll be back next week, and I'm quite sure, look at these ladies, because they will be back. They will be back because this is a good crew. Stay safe. Peace.